morning students, welcome to the session. Now today onwards we started unit 4. Okay, this is the topics covered in unit 4. This is the first chapter and this is the second chapter. First we have two chapters in unit 4, memory organization and input and output organization. Okay, in memory organization, memory hierarchy, main memory, auxiliary memory, associative memory, cache memory and virtual memory. In this memory organization, what are the memory which we have several types of memory allocated internally in the computer, and what is the memory, what is the performance of that memory we discussed in the chapter 1 of unit 4. Next, coming to the chapter 2, input and output organization. It consists peripheral devices, input and output interfaces, asynchronous data transfer, modes of transfer, priority interrupts and direct memory access. Okay, here coming to input and output organization means what are the hardware devices, what are the software devices, what is the input devices and output devices. Okay, what is the organization of how to give the input to the computer, how to get the result or output from the computer, that is discussed in input and output organization. What is the mode of transfer? Okay, transferring the data from one location to another location, what the modes of transfer, and priority of interrupts. Interrupts means which gives the priority to the input to output devices. Next, direct memory access, also discussed in input and output organization. These are the topics covered in unit 4. Okay, we have two chapters, memory organization and input and output organization. We discussed about the first topic in memory organization. We discussed about memory hierarchy. Okay, memory hierarchy. What is a memory hierarchy? We have, mainly memory hierarchy is a very essential part of the computer. Okay, memory is a brain of computer. Memory means it allocates the memory, whatever the data, whatever the calculation, whatever the computational problems that is stored in the memory. Okay, memory is a brain of the, like a brain, it works like a brain of the computer. It is a very essential part in the computer. Okay, here coming to the memory unit is an essential component in any digital computer since it is needed for storing program or data. What is the memory? Whatever the data it may be, either in the program or instructions or data or information, any calculation that is resides in the memory. It works as a brain of the computer. It works as a brain of the computer. It takes a very vital role in the computer. Okay, it is a very essential and important part in the computer. In that we have so many types of memories are available. Okay, like main memory, cache memory, auxiliary memory, associative memory, virtual memory. These are the memories or present in the computer. Next, coming to the memory unit that communicates directly with the CPU is called the main memory. Okay, initially we started with 3 memories. Okay, first one is main memory, second one is auxiliary memory, next coming to the third one is cache memory. Okay, these are the 3 types of mainly we used in the computer. 3 types of memory: main memory, auxiliary memory and cache memory. Okay, the memory unit that communicates directly with the CPU is called main memory. This is a first memory. This is also known as a primary memory. Main memory is also known as a primary memory. Any operations, any program that can be performed with the CPU is called main memory. Okay. In main memory, the data that can be resides in main memory that can be executed with the help of CPU. Okay, any program or data in the main memory that is executed with the help of CPU. CPU can access only the data in main memory that executes the CPU can access or identify or execute the program only the data that is present in the main memory. Okay, the device that provide backup storage are called auxiliary memory. Okay, this is also known as secondary memory. Okay, main memory is primary memory. Here we have three types of memory: main memory, auxiliary memory, and also cache memory. Okay, the data that is present in the main memory that is executed with the help of CPU. Next, coming to the auxiliary memory, it is a backup storage memory. Okay, next, the most common auxiliary memory devices are used in the computer are magnetic disk and magnetic tapes. Okay, the main auxiliary memory devices are used in that memory is magnetic tape and magnetic disk. Magnetic disk is nothing but hard disk. Hard disk. In olden days, we used the magnetic tapes. Now we use the magnetic disks. Okay, that is also auxiliary memory is also known as a secondary memory. Here we have three types of memories. Okay, main memory is a volatile memory. And auxiliary memory is non-volatile. Here, main memory has some data. We have to assume that some program. Whenever we switch off the computer, the data will be lost. That is known as a volatile memory. Whenever we switch off the computer in primary memory or main memory, whenever we have some content or data in the main memory. Whenever we switch off the computer, the data will be lost. That is known as the main memory, and it is called as volatile. What is the auxiliary memory and secondary memory? This is known as a non-volatile memory. Okay, it is useful whenever we switch off the memory, we switch off the computer, the data does not lost. Okay, the data that is stored in the secondary memory. This is a temporary memory. Main memory is a temporary memory. Secondary memory is a permanent memory. Main memory is a temporary memory and auxiliary memory is a permanent memory. That's why it is also known as a backup storage memory. Auxiliary memory is also called as backup storage memory. Here we have what is the memory hierarchy. Memory hierarchy is an essential part of the computer. It is like a brain. We can store the program or data or any other information in the memory. Mainly we have three types of memories. First one is main memory, auxiliary memory and cache memory. Main memory is also called as primary memory and auxiliary memory is also called as secondary memory. Main memory is a volatile. Whenever the system is switched off, we lost the data, that is known as a volatile. Whenever the system is in auxiliary memory, whenever the system is off, the data does not lost. It back up the storing data. Okay, that's why it is known as a non-volatile memory. Here auxiliary memory has two devices, magnetic disk and magnetic tapes. Magnetic tapes are used in olden days. Now we are using the hard disk. Magnetic disk also known as a hard disk. Now we use the hard disk. Okay, they are used for storing system, program, large data files and other backup information. Okay, here the auxiliary memory is storing system, large data files and other backup information. Okay, auxiliary memory stores a large amount of information, program, files and backup information. Why? Because the auxiliary memory has a backup storage. It does not lost any data. Okay, it permanently stores in the computer. Okay, only programs and data currently needed by processor resides in memory. Okay. Only program and data currently needed by the processor. Just now currently working program is stored in the main memory because it is a temporary memory. Whenever we switch off the computer, the data will be lost. That's why whenever now only currently we are working with one program or data or any other information that is only stored in the main memory. The main memory is a temporary memory. All other information is stored in auxiliary memory and transferred to main memory when needed. Okay, here the auxiliary memory has a permanent data. Unless we have to delete the file, then only the data will be removed. Okay, then the data will be not removed in the auxiliary memory. Well, unless we have to remove the data, then only the files or data or program is removed in the auxiliary memory. Okay, here all other information is stored in auxiliary memory and transferred to the main memory when needed. Whenever we have to need the data from auxiliary to main memory, we have to transfer the information from auxiliary memory to main memory. Why? Because we have to transfer the auxiliary memory to main memory. Okay, the CPU can access the information or execute the program in main memory only. That's why the auxiliary memory of information or file that is transferred to the main memory. The CPU executes only the program in main memory only. Okay, a special very high speed memory is called cache memory. Okay, coming to the third memory, the special, it is a high speed memory. It is a smaller in size, but it is very faster in performance. Okay, it is smaller in size, but the performance is very high. Okay, cache is sometimes used to increase the speed of the processor by making the current programs and data available to the CPU at rapid rate. Okay, here why we use the cache memory compared to the main memory. Cache memory is very fast. Main memory is very slow. Okay, slow compared to the cache memory. Main memory is slow, but cache memory is a smaller in size. It is very fast processing any program or file. For cache memory, we are used to increase the speed of the processing by making the current program. Whenever we using the current program, we have to increase the speed of that program. We use the cache memory at the CPU rapid time. CPU also has a faster memory. Faster, it can access the very fastly like cache memory. When compared to the cache and CPU, main memory is slow, relatively slow. Okay, cache and CPU is faster. Okay, whenever the data for the current working program, we have to increase the performance by using the cache memory. Okay, coming to the memory hierarchy in computer system. Okay, this is a auxiliary memory. This is auxiliary memory. Okay, auxiliary memory consisting of magnetic tape, and magnetic disk. It consisting of two types of storage purpose, magnetic tape and magnetic disk. This is I/O processor. This is main memory. Okay, this is a cache memory. Okay, here this is the architecture of memory hierarchy in computer system. It consisting of three memory. First one is main memory, and second one is auxiliary memory, and third one is cache memory. Okay, these are the three types of memories in the memory hierarchy. This is a CPU, Central Processing Unit. It only executes the program with the help of main memory. That's why we have to denote this. Okay, the data that can be located in main memory, then only the program will be executed by the CPU. Okay, in some cases, when compared to the faster, okay, CPU has very faster processor. Okay, when we have to execute with the current program, with the help of cache memory, we have to execute the program in main memory. Okay, cache memory is a very faster. In this auxiliary memory, we have two types of storage devices, magnetic tape and magnetic disk. Magnetic tapes are used in olden days. Magnetic disks are also known as hard disk. Magnetic disk are also known as hard disk, and it is a secondary storage device. Okay, here main memory is a primary storage devices. Okay, this is a cache memory. What is the performance of I/O processor? Okay, I/O processor gets the information from auxiliary memory for execution of the program to the main memory. Okay, the CPU can access only, we have to execute the program from main memory, not in the auxiliary memory. That's why the IO processor means input and output processor get the program or information from the auxiliary memory to the main memory. Then only execution can be performed with the help of CPU. Okay, the execution of program in auxiliary memory is not performed by the CPU. Only in main memory of the program only executed by the CPU. Okay, auxiliary memory sends the information to or program to IO processor with the help of magnetic tape or magnetic disk. It transfers the program to the IO processor and transfer to the main memory. Okay, whatever the program it may be, that is resides in the main memory, then only the CPU can be executed. The process of CPU will be executed. Compared to the main memory, cache memory is very faster and it is also very expensive. Okay, this is the main memory, hierarchy memory and auxiliary memory. Okay, IO process means here input and output processor. Whatever the data resides in the auxiliary memory, that is get to transfer to the main memory. Then only the CPU can be executed. Okay, this is about the implementation of memory hierarchy in computer system. Okay, coming to the properties of memory hierarchies means first one, okay, coming to the properties of memory hierarchies is first one is storage capacity. Storage capacity. Second one, cost per bit. Okay, third one, access speed. Okay, these are the three properties related to these memories. Okay, first we have to see what are the properties are available. What is the storage capacity of each memory? We have three memories: main memory, cache memory and auxiliary memory. What is the storage capacity and cost per bit? What is the cost of the individual memory? Main memory, cache memory and auxiliary memory. And what is the speed about those memories? Let us see about. Okay, let us assume that we have to take triangle. First we have to define the properties of these three memories. Okay, first one comes cache memory, next one is main memory, okay, last one is hard disk or auxiliary memory. Okay, first of part is related to cache memory and second part is related to the main memory and third part is related to hard disk or it is called as auxiliary memory. Here cache memory is a very faster relative or compared to the main memory and main memory is a relatively slow and hard disk is also somewhat better than the main memory. Okay, here the storage capacity of the cache memory is it is between 1 KB or 1 MB. Okay, next coming to the main memory, it is to the 1 GB. Okay, first one we check the properties of storage capacity. Okay, we have to draw the triangle. First we have to identify the storage capacity, cost per bit and accessing speed. Okay, coming to the first one, storage capacity, cache memory contains 1 KB to 1 MB. Next coming to the main memory. Main memory means 1 GB. Hard disk is 1 TB. Okay. Cache memory is very small, that's why that capacity is 1 KB or 1 MB. Next coming to the main memory, compared to the cache memory, it is very at most high. Main memory has 1 GB and hard disk or auxiliary memory has 1 TB, 1 terabytes, 1 gigabytes, 1 MB. Okay. Okay. Next coming to the cost per bit. Okay, for cache memory we require 3000 for 1 KB. Okay, for cache memory we require 3000 for 1 KB or 1 MB. For main memory we require 1500 to 3000. For hard disk or auxiliary memory we require 3000. Okay, compared to cost per bit for every memory, okay, hard disk is very cheaper than the cache memory and also main memory. Here the storage capacity is only 1 KB, but it is very expensive. 1 KB is 3000. Okay, next coming to the main memory, the storage capacity is 1 GB. It requires 1500 to 2000. Next coming to the hard disk, it contains 1 TB. 1 TB is more than cache memory. The highest storage capacity of hard disk that is only available with 3000. Okay. Now we compare with 3 memories. Okay. Hard disk is very cheaper than the main memory and cache memory. Okay. Here the data storage capacity is high and the amount is 3000. Here the storage capacities are very small, but it is very high cost. Okay, coming to the access speed. Okay, access speed of cache memory is very high. Okay, it is smaller in storage, but it is very high access speed. Cache memory is very high access speed. Cache memory is high. Cache memory is very high access speed. Coming to the main memory, its access speed is somewhat low, relatively low. It is very low compared to the cache memory. Main memory is very low speed compared to the cache memory. Okay, here hard disk also low speed compared to the cache memory. Here in access speed only cache memory is a very high speed. Okay, main memory is also less speed and also auxiliary memory also somewhat. Okay, we compare it with 3 memories. Only main memory is a less speed. Compared with 3 memories from cache memory, main memory and auxiliary memory, main memory is a less speed compared to the auxiliary memory and cache memory. In auxiliary memory and cache memory is a very faster device, but it is a smallest storage. Next, smallest storage is auxiliary memory. Highest storage is a hard disk. Auxiliary memory is a highest storage. It is a permanent storage. Auxiliary memory is whenever we switch off the computer, the data does not lost. It is also known as a backup storage memory. Okay, the data that not lost in the auxiliary memory. In main memory, it lost whenever the switch off the computer, the data will be lost. Okay, here in auxiliary memory, unless we delete the file, then only the data will be lost. Okay, the storage capacity of cache memory is small. Here the storage capacity is small, but it is a very faster speed and cost also high expensive. Okay, coming to these properties, first one is storage capacity, cost per bit and access speed. Okay, here cache memory has it is a smaller than compared to main memory and hard disk. Okay, but it is a faster. Next, coming to the main memory, it is contained the storage capacity is 1 GB. Okay, it is a bigger than the storage capacity is bigger than cache memory, but it is a less speed. Okay, next storage capacity of hard disk or auxiliary memory is 1 TB. It is the highest memory. Then that's why it stores a large amount of information, program, files or data. Okay, here hard disk is storage capacity is 1 TB. The cost is also it is very reasonable price. Okay, it is about the storage capacity. This is the properties of these memory hierarchy: storage capacity, cost per bit and access speed. Next, coming to the microprogramming. Many operating systems are designed to enable CPU to process a number of independent programs. concurrently. This process is called multi-programming. Okay, what is multi-programming? Okay, multi-programming can done with the help of operating systems that can be designed to enable the CPU to process number of independent programs concurrently. Concurrently means at a time simultaneously we can then number of programs is known as a multi-programming. Simultaneously we have to done independently about 10 programs, that is known as a multi-programming. Concurrently means simultaneously at the single time we have to perform the multiple programs is known as a multi-programming. It refers to the existence of 2 or more programs in different parts of the memory hierarchy at a same time. Okay, we have to done 2 or more programs in the different parts of the memory hierarchy at the same time. What is a multi-programming? Simultaneously at a time we can be implemented number of programs is known as a multi-programming. Here it refers to existence of 2 or more programs in different parts of memory hierarchy. Different parts of memory hierarchy means it can perform main memory, auxiliary memory, or in the cache memory. Okay, the auxiliary memory does not execute the program. Okay, the main memory only executes the program with the help of CPU. Okay, whatever the data in the main memory, then only that program will be executed by the CPU. Okay, when the CPU is very faster and cache memory also very fast. Okay, that accessing time is very fast and main memory does not perform that accessing time. It is a very less accessing time. Okay, with the help of memory hierarchies at the same time we can perform the 2 or more programs or operations. Okay, the part of the computer system that supervises flow of information between auxiliary memory and main memory is called the memory management information. Memory management system. The part of the computer system that supervises the flow of information between auxiliary memory and main memory. The flow of information between auxiliary memory and main memory is with the help of I/O processor. The auxiliary memory has some information or data that is transferred to the main memory by the execution time. With the help of input and output process, we have to transfer the information to auxiliary memory to the main memory. That is known as a memory management system. We have to manage the memory from auxiliary memory to main memory with the help of I/O processor, that is known as a memory management system. Okay, the main memory is the central storage unit in the computer. Okay, coming to the next topic. Okay, main memory. Now we discussed about the memory hierarchies. We have the 3 types of memory hierarchies. First one is main memory, second one is auxiliary memory, and third one is cache memory. Okay, main memory is that is a primary memory. Whenever the system is switched off, the program or data will be lost. Okay, in auxiliary memory it contains magnetic tape and magnetic disk. Magnetic disk also known as a hard disk. Auxiliary memory is also known as a secondary storage. Whenever we switch off the computer, the data or a program or information does not lost. That is stored in that magnetic disk. In olden days we use magnetic tapes. Now we do use the hard disk or magnetic disk. And that's why auxiliary memory is called as a backup storage. Okay, auxiliary memory has a storage capacity. That is a permanent storage unless we delete any file or a program. Coming to the cache memory, it is a smaller but it is a very faster than the main memory. Okay, with the help of CPU, we can execute the program in main memory. Whatever the program or data resides in the main memory, then only the CPU can be accessed. Whenever in auxiliary memory has some program that is executed by the CPU, with the help of I/O processor, we have to transfer the data to secondary memory to the primary memory, then only the program will be executed. Now next topic, coming to the main memory. In briefly we explain about what is the main memory. Okay, main memory is a primary memory. Whenever we switch off the computer, the data will be lost. Okay, here the main memory is a central storage in the computer. Okay, it is a main memory. That's why any program that is stored in the computer system is known as a main memory. Whatever the program we have to perform it or execute it with the help of main memory only. Okay, next it is relatively large and fast memory used to store the program and data during the computer operation. It is a very large and fast memory used to store programs and data during the computer operation. Okay, with the help of main memory only we have to execute the program. It is relatively large and fast memory compared to the auxiliary memory. Just the storage is not there in the main memory, the storage is available in secondary memory. It is also known as auxiliary memory. Okay, integrated circuit. Okay, main memory mainly uses the RAM. Okay, main memory only uses the RAM. RAM means random access memory. This is also known as chip. Okay, integrated circuits. With the help of integrated circuit, RAM chips are available in two possible operating modes. One is static and another one is dynamic. Okay, the main memory is performed with the help of RAM, random access memory. Okay, it has two types of modes. One is SRAM and second one is DRAM. SRAM means static RAM, DRAM means dynamic RAM. SRAM is useful for integrated circuits. Okay, here static RAM consisting of essentially of initial flip-flops. Okay, what is the meaning of flip-flops? Flip-flop means it can access the 1-bit information. It can access the 1-bit information. Flip-flop access 1-bit information stored in binary information. The computer can access only the binary information, whether it is a 0 or 1. It does not identify the alphabets or symbols. Okay, the static RAM is constructed with the help of integrated circuits or electrical circuits. With the help of electrical circuit, the static RAM will be implemented. Okay, of internal flip-flops. Okay, internal flip-flops. What is the flip-flops? 1-bit information, that is in the form of, it is stored in binary information. Okay, next coming to the dynamic RAM storage, the binary information of electronic charges that is applied to the capacitor. The dynamic RAM stores the binary information, the electric charges and the capacitors. Okay, the main memory mainly used the random access memory. It consisting of two operation modes. One is a SROM, DROM. SROM means static ROM, DROM means dynamic ROM. SROM, it uses the integrated circuits and it also provides the information from the flip-flops. It is a means of flip-flop means 1-bit information. It is in the form of binary number. Dynamic RAM means it stores the binary information in the form of electronic charges and applied to the capacitors. Okay, here in static RAM we use the integrated circuits. In dynamic RAM we use the capacitors. Most of the main memory in general purpose computer is made up of the RAM integrated circuit chips. Most of the main memory that is used with the help of RAM integrated circuit chip. Okay, here RAM was used to refer the random access memory, but now it is used to designate read and write memory. Okay, RAM can access the read and write memory, and RAM also called as a bidirectional. Bidirectional. It can access both read and write operations. RAM is used to refer as random access memory, but now it is used to designate the read and write operation, and that's why we call it as bidirectional memory. Okay, RAM is also known as a bidirectional. It can perform both read and write operation. In ROM, it only perform read only operation. In ROM means read only memory. It only perform read operation. RAM can perform the both read and write operation. Okay, to distinguish it from read-only memory, although ROM is also a random access. In some cases, mainly in main memory, we uses RAM only. In few cases, ROM also used in the main memory. Okay, here we use the RAM and ROM. Both RAM and ROM. RAM means random access memory, read-only memory. It accesses both read and write operation. ROM only uses the read operation. In some cases, mainly main memory uses the RAM memory, but in some cases we uses the ROM also. In few cases we uses in main memory ROM also. Okay, RAM is used for storing the bulk of programs and data that are subjected to change. Okay, RAM is used storing the bulk of programs and data that are subjected to change. ROM is used for storing the programs that are permanently resides in the computer. Okay, here already we discussed main memory is a temporary storage. Okay, main memory, that information is stored in RAM. Okay, here comparison between the RAM and ROM. ROM is a permanent storage device in the computer. RAM is a temporary storage, but it stores the bulk amount of information or bulk amount of program. ROM is a temporary storage. Here the ROM portion of the main memory is needed for storing of initial program called the bootstrap loader. Okay, the ROM portion of main memory is needed for storing a initial program called bootstrap program. What is the performance of bootstrap program? Okay, the ROM, okay, any program that is stored in ROM is permanently. What is the permanently? Whenever we switch off the computer, the data does not lost. That's why we have to store the information permanently. That is with the help of bootstrap loader, the ROM can be stored the information permanently. With the help of bootstrap loader, the ROM can store the information of the program permanently. Okay, RAM has only large amount of it, stores the large amount of information. It has both read and write operations. Okay, compared to the RAM and ROM, ROM is a permanent storage computer. RAM is a somewhat it is a temporary storage. Okay, main memory is a temporary storage. It is a primary memory. Secondary memory, it plays only the permanent storage. Here the RAM also like that only. In main memory we use both RAM and ROM. Mainly we use as the RAM chip. Okay, both we have both chips, RAM chip and ROM chip. Mainly we use the RAM chip. Okay, the bootstrap loader is a program whose function is start the computer software operating when power is turned off. Already I said bootstrap means whenever the program is switched off, the function of the computer software is performing, operating. The program in the ROM does not changes with the help of bootstrap loader. The bootstrap loader is a program whose function is start the computer software operating when power is turned off. Okay, the data that does not lost by with the help of bootstrap loader. The data that does not lost whenever the power is switched off, whenever the start computer operating system, when the power is turned off, the data does not deleted with the help of bootstrap loader. Okay, the startup of computer consisting of turning the power and starting the execution of initial program. Okay, the starting of the computer already we know. Whenever we start the computer, then starting the execution of initial program. Thus, when the power is turned on, the hardware of computer sets the program counter at first address of the bootstrap program. With the help of bootstrap program, the program can be resides in the computer. With the help of whenever we switch off the computer, okay, with the help of bootstrap of ROM, the data will be permanently stored in the computer. Thus, when the power is turned on, the hardware of computer sets the program counter the first address of bootstrap loader. Here, what is the RAM? and ROM chips. Let us discuss about what is the internal RAM chip and ROM chip. Okay, here RAM chip is better suited for communication with the CPU. RAM is better suited communicated with the CPU. If it has one or more control input, then selected chip only when needed. Okay, if the RAM is better suited with the CPU. Okay, the RAM has one or more control inputs, that selected chip only when needed. We have contain more selected chips. We have to increase the selected chips. Okay, another common feature is bidirectional data bus that allows the transfer of the data either from the memory and the CPU. Here the bidirectional means it performs both the read and write operations. It performs both read and write operation. That's why we call it as bidirectional database. Okay, RAM needs a bidirectional database that allows the transfer of the data from memory or to the CPU. Okay, any data in main memory that is transferred to the CPU. Main memory has some data. With the help of RAM, we have to transfer the data to the CPU. Okay, in main memory it consisting of RAM. In auxiliary memory it performs ROM. Only we have to access the data with the help of I/O process to the main memory. Okay, coming to the capacity of memory, 128 bits of 8 bits per word. This requires 7-bit address and the 8-bit bidirectional database. This is known as a RAM chip. It is an implementation of RAM chip. The capacity of RAM chip is 128. It consisting of 8 bits. 120 by 8 RAM. Okay, 128 is capacity of RAM chip. By 8 means it consisting of 8 bits. That's why we call it as 8-bit data bus. This is a 8-bit data bus. This is a 8-bit data bus. Here, this is as a chip select 1, chip selected 2. This is it perform both operations, bidirectional, read operation and write operation, AD7. Okay, here we take the 7-bit address. Okay, AD7 means 7-bit address. We take the 7-bit address. Here we have to take 8-bit bidirectional database. This requires the 7-bit address. Okay, and it has a memory of 128 words, and 8 means here we have to take 8 bits. 128 words has 8 bits. Here CS1 means chip select 1, CS2 means chip select 2. Here this is a CS1. Here we denoted CS2 is CS2 bar. Okay, this is a block diagram of typical RAM chip. Here what are the functions performing with the help of CS1 and CS2 bar and read and write operation. Okay, what are the memory function? What is the state of the data bus? Here we have to take the CS1, CS2, read, write. Okay, here the memory function. What is the function is performed with the help of these selection inputs and read and write operation. What is the state of data bus? Here for CS1 is 1, CS2 is 0, then only the RAM will be performed. Whenever the selected input CS1 is 1 and CS2 is 0. Here CS2 bar. CS2 0 means nothing but here 1 only. Whenever CS1 is 1 and CS2 is 0, then only the performance is occurred in the RAM. Okay, here CS2 bar means 0. 0 is complemented as 1. Okay, the data of CS1 is 1 and CS2 0 will be only performed. Okay, here let us come from 0 0. Okay, CS1 is 0, CS2 is 0. Here there is no operation of read and write operation for 0 0. It is inherit bit. Okay, here it is a high impedance. The state of the data bus is high impedance. Okay, here next case we take the 0 1. Here read and write operations or nothing operations will be performed. Okay, it is also inherit bit. Okay, here the function means it does not perform any operation. That's why we call it as inherit bits. Here also the state of data bus is high impedance. High impedance. Next, coming to the 10. Okay, it read and write operations also does not perform. That's why it is also inherit bit. This is also high impedance. First three are the high impedance. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Three are the memory functions are high impedance. The state of data bus is high impedance. Coming to the 10. Here already I know it. I said that CS1 is 1, CS2 is 0. CS2 bar means it is placed as 1. Here 10 means here read operation is 0. For we have to take from both cases 0, 0, 0, 1. For 0, 0 there is no inherit bit. The result is high impedance. Here 10. It performs the read operation will be 0 and write operation will be 0. Here write is enable. That's why memory function is write. Input data to the RAM. This is a RAM chip. That's why, okay, here only 10 is performed. C2 bar is denoted as 1. Okay, 10 is performed. Read operation is 0 and write operation is 1. The memory function is write. Here write is enable. Enable means it indicates 1. That's why the status bit is input data to RAM. Here coming to the 10, here we have to take read is enable and write is 0. Here the memory function read is performed and the state of data bit is output data from RAM. Here input to RAM, we have to give the with write operation. From input device we have to write the input to the RAM, that is known as input data to RAM. Here the read operation means output from RAM. Okay, we have to analyze, we have to receive the data from output devices to the RAM. Output data from RAM. Coming to the 11, it does not perform any operation. It also inherit bit. Okay, this is also high impedance. Here we have to perform only CS1 is 1 and CS2 is 0. Okay, in both cases, in 1 or 0 cases only, it perform the read and one case for read and one case for write operation. Here 10, here we have to take 0, 0. Next 10, only write operation is enabled. That's why write input data to the ROM. Okay, here 10, only read operation is enabled. Memory function is read, only output data from the RAM. Okay, it is a RAM is a bidirectional data. That's why it perform only read and write, both read and write operations. Okay, coming to the ROM chip. This is a ROM chip implementation. The addressing of memory can be essential by the means of table that specify the memory address assigned to each chip. The table called the memory address map. Okay, this is a ROM chip. It consisting of 512 words. Here in ROM, it consisting of 128 words. Here in ROM, it consisting of 512 words and 8-bit data bus. Okay, this is a 8-bit data bus. Here we have to take two selected inputs like only RAM, CS1 and CS2 bar. Here only 9-bit address we have to take AD9. Okay, here the ROM does not perform both operations, read and write operation. It only perform the read operation. That's why we does not take any read and write operation. Just this is a implementation of the ROM chip. It consisting of 512 word and 8-bit data bus. Okay, ROM is a read-only memory. It does not perform the write operation. Here we have take the two selection chips. Chip selected 1 and chip selected 2 bar. Okay, here we have to take the 9-bit address. That's why we have to present the AD9. In ROM we have to present AD7. We can take only 7-bit representation. Here we have to take the 9-bit representation. Okay, this is a memory address mapping of the processor. Okay, this is the components RAM 1, RAM 2, RAM 3 and RAM 3. Okay, here we have to take for RAM, we have to take 00 to 07F. And these are the hierarchical address. This is the hierarchical address and this is the address bus. Okay, this is a memory address mapped for the microprocessor. Memory address microcomputer. Here we have to take the 4 RAMs and 1 ROM. Okay, let us assume that these are the 4 RAMs. The implementation that can be done with the help of these 4 RAMs and 1 ROM. Okay, here we have to take already the implementation of ROM means CS1, selected CS2. Here also CS1, CS2 bar, CS1 and CS2 bar, CS1 and CS2 bar. Here CS1 and CS2 bar. This is a only ROM. AD9 will be allocated. Okay. Here this is a memory. Memory means that memory 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, here read operation and write operation AD7. Read operation, write operation 7. Read operation and write operation 7. Okay, here this is a row. First 4 are the RAM. RAM 1, RAM 2, RAM 3, RAM 4. Here hierarchical address from 10 to 9. For 1 bit we have to specify there is no connection between the RAM. From 0 to 7 we have to connect these CS1. Okay, CS1 is connected with one line and CS2 is connected with another line. Likewise, we represent with the help of memory hierarchical address. We have to represent this memory address map for micro operation. Okay, we have to take 4 RAMs and 1 ROM. Okay, already we see the implementation of RAM and ROM. It consisting of selected chip and selected chip 2 bar. Okay, likewise we have to perform the operation with the hierarchical address. This is the address bus that can be mapped with the help of these notations. Okay, 0, 0. Okay, CS1 is connected. For all ROM, CS1 is connected. For all ROM, CS2 also connected. For all RAM or ROM, the read operations will